Hi, I'm Lopez. I'm going to give you guys some tips on water safety. Obviously, if you're a beginner surfer and you're just learning to surf, water safety is one of the biggest things, and it's so much easier than you think. Like you get caught in a rough situation and you panic. That is the worst thing to do. Panicking is probably the biggest problem with, if you're in an unfamiliar situation, all of a sudden you panic, that's when you're going to run into problems. You gotta learn how to stay calm, and you can get through the situation. That's the main thing. For me, when you get in a situation, say you're paddling out, you don't realize how big the waves are. You're in a situation where the waves are a little bit bigger than you're used to. So all of a sudden you get caught inside, and here you're stuck with, a couple big waves, and you're getting kind of winded, right? Well, the thing to do is when the first wave hits you, right, and you get hit by a big wave, and you're underwater, and you're kind of tumbling, and your natural instinct is to fight the wave, right? You're just thinking, I gotta fight, I gotta get to the surface. Well, no matter how strong you are, a wave will not let you to the surface until it's ready to let you to the surface. So one of the biggest things is just to learn to be calm for the first few seconds while the wave is wiping you out. If you can be calm for 3 to 5 seconds, 8 seconds, I know those times seem very short, and you're probably thinking in your head that they're 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. It's really only about 8 seconds that you're underwater. And so you just got to learn to hold your breath for a few extra seconds, wait till the wave starts to subside a little bit, and then use your energy to swim up. If you're spazzing out underwater and while you're wiping out, you're using all this oxygen in your blood and your body, and you're just making yourself that much more at risk for some, getting yourself in trouble for the next few waves that are coming. Because after this first wave, there's a good chance you have number 2, number 3, possibly number 4 and 5 coming at you. So you want to learn to conserve energy, hold your breath, be calm. And like I said, when you're underwater, just be calm. Once the wave subsides, start swimming up, get to the surface, take a few really good breaths. Don't let your mind put you in some situation, oh, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. You can't think that way. You gotta be like, I got this, everything's cool. Next wave hits you, same thing. Just put yourself underwater. You don't need to swim 10 feet down, just go a little bit underwater, let the wave hit you, and repeat again and again and again. Just let the wave hit you, roll you. Once it subsides a little bit, swim up. That's the best thing I can think of advice to give someone. It's just learning and gets in a situation that's a little more dangerous. Also, other things, tips for safety is if you're surfing next to a jetty like we're going to be today, if you're a beginner, don't start off right next to the jetty. Start off down the beach, away from the jetty. Usually all the really good surfers are going to be right by the jetty. That's where usually the best waves are. But if you're just learning, you don't need to be right there with all they are. And plus, if there's a current going into the jetty, like here for instance, if there's a north swell here, the current will sweep right into the jetty, which if you're a novice, you don't want to be stuck in a situation of being pulled towards the jetty and then have to have the lifeguards come and help you out. If you're lucky enough to have lifeguards. Not every beach does. Other things are just look for big riptides. When you're down the beach, if it's bigger, you can see riptides form and they come and go. So one of the biggest things with riptides is they come and go. So if you get stuck in one, let it push you out. Never try to swim in against it. It's obviously you're never going to beat a riptide in. So let it kind of push you out. Swim to the side, swim north or south or east or west, depending on what beach you live at. And so she swims to the side, parallel to the beach, and then most likely at that point, after a few minutes of paddling, swimming to the side, you'll be able to swim right in with no problem. Now granted, again, as you're swimming in, another rip could form right where you're back at, and that's just an unlucky event, which usually doesn't happen too often. But riptides are their own creatures, so they kind of move up and down the beach with different sets of waves coming in from different angles. If one set's coming in, way down the beach from you, it's going to possibly push a surge of water out the other way, a riptide. And then another set comes at a different angle, it could push it over here. So they're their own creatures, they move around, and they're going to push you around. So once one starts to form, it'll push you out of the way, and just don't fight it. They'll push you out. You might get pushed out extra 50 yards outside the lineup, but you're going to be that 50 yards outside the lineup, and then you're just have to swim sideways or paddle sideways and then get out of it and then come back into where you want to catch your waves. It's really nothing to be scared of. I know I'm talking these situations that are kind of scary. They're not, you just got to learn to deal with them, and it's part of surfing. Most likely, if you're a beginner, you're going to be surfing small waves. You want to start off usually in waves anywhere from waist to chest high, or the preferred size surf to learn how to surf in. And soft waves, you don't need to go to a beach break that's just grinding tubes, slamming closeouts. That's not where you want to learn. And also, beginner surfers, you're going to really want to wear a leash every time you surf just to keep the board attached to you. And surfboard selection is a big key. Choose the right surfboard. Your local surf shop is probably the best person to give you advice on which board to start off with. The best place to learn is a nice slow beach. I always compare it to Cocoa Beach, and you guys might not know where Cocoa Beach is, but it's one of the softest waves in the world, where Kelly Slater learned to surf. Go figure. But it's a really soft and slow breaking wave. That's where you need to learn how to surf. So go out surfing and enjoy it.